So you join me here at the chart table of Belmore, otherwise known as the double dinette. Why are we looking at the map of the Norfolk Broads and all its beautiful glory on both sides? Well, because people, we're going on a bit of a trip today. It's just about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's day 4 of the Captain's Blog, and good morning and welcome aboard for your lovely, enjoyable stay. I'm not going to be having such an enjoyable stay at the present time because I've decided last night to do something that's going to take about 8.5–9 hours today. Yeah, let me talk you through it. We're in Wroxham, we're in Barnesborough Craft Yard, we're on the River Bure. We're going to come down the River Bure here, through Horning, all the way down here to the mouth of the River Thurn that goes off up to Pileham, but we're going to be coming down here to Acle, past Acle, down the River Bure here to Braden Water. Want to get here about 2:30 to 3:15. Slack low water is at 25 minutes past 3 today. When I come across Braden Water, now I want to go down here, but there's a problem. You see, it's called St Olave's Bridge, and it's right there. Now the problem with St Olave's Bridge is it's pretty much, I would say, bang on what the gauge says. If I get there and I can't fit under that bridge, or I don't want to risk fitting under that bridge, it's an awful long way to go up here and then come all the way down here and go down here to bypass it. So I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to come down here on the River Yare to Reedham, come down the Haddiscoe New Cut, bypassing St Olave's Bridge, and then we'll be on the River Waveney. We come all the way down here to Oulton Dyke, and we're going to come here to Oulton Broad, and we're going to go by the seaside. I'm taking the bloody blog to the bloody seaside. So 9 hours roughly of cruising, a couple of stops along the way for a quick visit to the loo if I need to. What do you think? Yes, greater men than me have already done this trip, I'm sure. But for the average holiday maker, 9 hours sitting at the helm with no one to get a coffee or give you lunch sounds like hell. But actually I quite like it. And to be frank with you, if you're on a sea passage, for example, and you were going between, say, I don't know, Lowestoft and, Tilbury, you might have to be 9 hours at the helm. So I need to get my shoes on, and I need to get this show on the road. Different blog camera today. We're using the big boy for this one because I've looked at the footage and it does actually look quite a bit better, I think. After all, I did pay out for this and lenses for it, and then I'm just using my little one. Little boy is going on the outside of the boat. It's a lovely morning today, and don't worry, I'm still here. I'm not just going to be talking behind the camera all day, but yeah, anyway, so it's a beautiful day. There's not a hint of rain forecast, so puffy white clouds, blue sky, 12 to 13 degrees. Not sure about the winds or where they're coming from, but I've got everything sort of set up, as you'll see later, and we'll just get underway and see how we go. More as it happens. So we're underway, we're just coming out of Wroxham. The time's exactly 20 minutes past 9, so remember that. We'll see what time it actually takes to get there. There's a smell of burning, and I'm not kidding you. Wait a second, seriously. I'm only joking. So, right, it is 21 minutes past 9. Let's start that again. I'm losing my voice now, Christ almighty. So, we're just leaving Wroxham and we're heading out to Oulton Broad. We're walking to Lowestoft. I did tell you about how glorious the weather was, and it was sunny and puffy white clouds and blue sky. Well, it's distinctly grey now. Chilly too. Dropped to 9.7 degrees outside. When we left Wroxham, it was nearly nearly 11 degrees. So yeah, it's an odd morning for me because Sheila's not here, and I was going to say that means I'm going to do an awful lot of talking today, but if my voice is all croaky like this, there's a frog in there. Bloody nuisance. I mean, I can understand a bream or a roach, but a frog. But she had to be up earlier than me, back in London to go to work. I didn't have to because obviously we're going for our little epic journey, and that doesn't need to be worried about because of the times of the tides. Usually tides to cross Yarmouth often early in the morning, you know, 10 o'clock for example, which means you've got to be at least leaving Acle at 8, and if you're further afield from Acle then even earlier up. So I feel like I'm back into sort of the captain's blog mode, and that usually means more video, more talking to you, and I think I should sort of explain a few things. Why I've been asked, am I hiring a boat when I own a share of Broad Ambition? Well, the way I would answer that is a bit like saying you own a car, but does that mean you don't hire a car ever? Well, that's not a very good analogy, but basically I didn't think twice about it. I don't think like, oh, I'm looking after this and that's part of mine, so then you don't do this. I just thought, I'll email Barnes Brinkcraft, you know, and I'm probably going to do it. I'm not going to do it as much because obviously cost. Even, you know, with Broad Ambition, coming up here on the train, and then you get a cab, and then you've got to, you know, pay for the fuel, pay for a pump out, pay for the food. The food's the killer, whether you are coming up for a hire boat or whatever, because it's not like your house with your pantry stocked and your freezer and fridge with everything you need in it. So that kind of thing does cause me annoyance when you have to think, well, I want some tomato ketchup, so you buy a new bottle of ketchup. And for all you people out there that say, I'll just bring some tomato ketchup, I bet you have a car and you can just go, put that in darling, yes that's it, fill it all up and drive up to Norfolk. I'm like, right, I've got 2 hands and 2 cases in the rush hour on the London Underground. People don't like, oh for God's sake, you a Londoner? What are you doing with these bloody bags? But you know better. And then of course there's always the barrier dilemma. You've got your bags, you've got to stop to touch in with your Oyster card and have the barriers open to walk through. And the one thing that peeves me off is when people go through the barrier and go, right, stop, I'm going to put my Oyster card away now, slowly. And everybody's like, whoa, what the hell? So I try to sort of think of my fellow commuters, not that it gets any sort of thank, because obviously it's London, no one talks to anyone and no one gives a real toss. So, crazy me. You've missed it, you've missed it. So, Sheila's not here, more time for video and keeping me company through the lens of the camera, you guys down there, and that's really why I'm here. It's why we're going to Oulton Broad, because it's interesting and you just want to see how I cope, and I don't know if I will, and it's just an adventure, and that's what the point of it is. It's just a bloody nuisance that the adventure is starting with grey skies when I thought, oh, this is brilliant, we get some nice outdoor photography as we're going along. Yeah. So we're just passing Wroxham Broad on my right hand side. It's going to be a long day. I'm desperately going to try and give you guys a feel for the adventure outside as well. If it does start to rain, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to bring my cameras in. But for right now, I'll show you the River Bure as we're going along by Wroxham Broad. As ever, more as it happens. So as I said to you, it is very grey outside. I don't know if you can see that plane coming in to land at Norwich Airport up there. But I'll just show you the setup that we've got going on here at the helm. So this is our distance calculator. I've just loaded this up to see, and Wroxham to Acle is 3.25. That's hours, so near enough 3.5 hours. And if we look at Acle, when we get to Acle to Great Yarmouth is 2.2, and Acle to Oulton Broad Yacht Station is 7 hours. Joy of joys. But basically what's going on over here is, I'm just opening up, got Spotify on the go here through this lead here to the radio there, and Spotify is being loaded with, or given access to the internet through the trusty dongle, so it's pretty damn good. So just press the play button there and it comes out the speakers behind me. Got a Coke on the go just in case, but can't go drinking too much too wildly too soon. But very quiet day. Also got that poster on the side of the boat, so as people come past they'll see cameras adorning this boat and then a big thing saying the captain's blog, and they're probably thinking, what's all that about then? Or they think, oh, it's the captain's blog, I've just been on YouTube. Yes, you're on YouTube, Lady Moore. Oh, there's blue sky ahead. Anyway, long old day, so I'll update you as and when. So just the update for you, we're coming through Horning, and this cable here is just a USB cable because I've got a camera on the roof and I've got a great idea of keeping the battery topped up one of these power banks, so I can just plug that in when the battery starts getting low internally on it. So we're literally just turning past the Swan. We're making good progress, 10:05 at the present time. A lot quieter today on the river than over the weekend. I think a lot of people probably had weekend breaks and they've, returned their boats back now. There was certainly a lot of activity this morning at Barnsley's yard with returning people. So Horning, it is the morning and we're carrying on, and the good news is ahead of us is actually some brighter sky. I'll keep you updated as we go through the sort of known landmarks and so on, but nice morning for it anyway. Just had a word with Sheila on the phone. She's not having a good morning. She's got she's a nanny for a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old baby, and there was always 2 pushchairs on the bus, and she had to let 3 go, and now Sophia's late for nursery. So there's the update from southwest London, and on the Norfolk Broads everything's running smoothly on Norfolk time. Okay, so a little update for you. I've just passed Alex and Lorna on Braveheart, friends of mine. They moored at Fleet Dyke overnight and heading in the direction of Horning and Wroxham. As for me, shortly there'll be the turn off for the River Ant, for the mouth of that, and then because shortly after that will be the moorings for St Dennis Abbey. The time is just about 10 to 11. I'm still a bit disappointed with the weather. It could be better, could be a hell of a lot worse. If it was raining, it'd be pretty atrocious going on a journey like we are today. But it's just high clouds, but lots of it. So you're looking all the time for a break in the clouds. Is there any blue, you know? It'd be really nice to have some sunshine. What else can I say? I'm not just going to be talking to you all day today to the camera and you'll be like, well, I want to see out the windows. Alright, there you go, you can see out the windows. And as you can see, it's a bit of a grey day. There's some bank works going on at the moment here. There's dredging going on further as we go down towards Horning. This is a rather large masted sailing yacht. Or maybe not. I'm fascinated with sailing. I really, it doesn't appeal to me where I would want to own a sailing boat, but it's just the beauty of being powered by the wind. And I really recommend, guys, you go on YouTube and you just type in Guido Sailing. That's Guido Sailing. You'll find his YouTube channel. He is a German man who sailed the Atlantic. He filmed it very much the same as I do my blogs. A lot of talking to the camera, pieces set to some music, but it's really engaging with the viewer. And because he's German. And then he redubbed it all into English. And I bought the whole package, which is like 3-hour film. It cost me like 20 quid. And it is so worth it. Oh my god. The thing that was most amazing is the guy had never sailed before. And I think it was like he started sailing and then 34 months later he crossed the Atlantic. So, on his own, in I think it was a 29-foot Bavaria sailing yacht. And it really, you feel so in awe of nature, man's bravery, skill. You know, he went from Germany as well. So first of all, out of Germany, through, I think it was the Holland. The Holland? For Christ's sake, boy, it's Dutch.
From March 2012 to October 2014, I sailed single-handed around the Atlantic Ocean. Across the North Sea and along the European coastlines, I went to the Canary Islands. Further on to the Cape Verdean Islands, and hereafter in 21 days non-stop to the Caribbean. In March 2014, I set sails again. Once more, I sailed completely alone across the North Atlantic to the Azores. Back in the North Sea, I looked back on 12 countries, 146 days on sea, and more than 11,000 nautical miles. This is the story of my journey.
Okay, so a little update for you. The time is now 11:26, and there's a problem in that, because I can see Acle ahead of us. And we shouldn't be there until at least after 12 o'clock, earliest. So we've been doing a bit too well. I came down here at 5 mile an hour thinking, you know, we're doing all right. I thought, no, we're not. We're early. So yeah, we're at least sort of 35 minutes early. And the reason why I say we're early is because we need that tide just right at Great Yarmouth. Low water is at 2:30. Slack water, I've now checked, is at 3:30. And if I trundle on down here, go under Acle Bridge too early, I'll arrive too early. Which normally, you know, if you're in a low down type of boat, isn't too much of a problem. Yes, you have got to contend with that stronger ebbing tide, less control, less ability to sort of stop and stuff. But in a higher boat, higher air draft, not higher boat, it becomes all the more important, because it's crucial obviously to get enough clearance under the bridges at Yarmouth, especially Vauxhall. That's the big metal red painted bridge, because that has been the scene of many an accident, with boats having roofs decapitated or just plain stuck under them. And I don't intend to join that sort of specialist elite group of people that, well, I don't know, don't read the tides, don't look at the gauges on the bridge, and don't appreciate the height of the craft. So to combat this, I've put the boat into tick over, and we're just going to take it really nice and slow now. I might even just stop off at Acle. Maybe I could just fill up with water at Horizon Craft or something like that. But that's the update for you. Ahead of schedule, brightening skies, everything's going good, apart from the camera's auto exposure, which seems to be all over the place. It's a bit dark at the moment. I can see on this camera. The other camera I can't see when I'm pointing at me, but this has a flip up screen, which is probably why I'm looking like straight through you. I'm not looking you in the eye. See, I can look at you in the eye now, viewer. Hello. Is it comfortable where you are? Are you on a tablet? Are you on your computer? Maybe your smart connected TV. But if I look over here and look at me, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at that beautiful painting you have behind you and the mess over there. So hi guys, just an update for you. I'm at the mouth of Upton Dyke, and the reason why is I've spun the boat around. The wind's helping keep me sort of against the bank here, and I'm just literally using it as a bit of a lay-by just to kill some time before heading down towards Yarmouth. So that's literally what's going on at the present time. It's almost 11:15, so about 10 to 11 I plan to leave here and head off down towards the bridge, and then that means that by the time I get there it should be about 12 o'clock, which means I can regulate the speed down to Yarmouth, catch the right tide, da-da-da-do, and everything is all fine. It's well worth coming down Upton Dyke though. Don't be put off. It's a nice little wind. Just don't come when hunters' yachts are in there like I did, because then you can't turn at the end. So we're still taking it nice and easy, but we are passing under Acle Bridge with 11'3" of clearance at 1 minute to 12. So we're back on course. We're not too early, we're not too late. So just an update, on my right hand side is the start of the moorings of the Stracy Arms. I've got Commodore, a boat from Richardson's in front of me, and we are well on the way now. Time now is 20 minutes to 1. Just upped our revs to 1,000 and we're doing 6 miles an hour. So everything's looking good. There's even a hint of blue sky in the direction of Great Yarmouth, so that's good. It's actually really going quite well. I mean that in a kind of a mental, physical way for me as well. Because I'm looking at the bigger picture, if I was just coming here, I'd probably be like, oh, thank God I'm here. But we've got a long way to go still. So I'm feeling fresh, good. I think the nibbles are going to have to come out in a moment though. Did have my Frosties for breakfast. But yeah, A47, busy but free flowing. More as it happens. And that is a very well conducted mooring, considering that they're going out with the outgoing tide. But that's what you can get away with when you've got bow and stern thrusters. Although having said that, I would have thought that some people might like to come out and sort of, you know, maybe take ropes. I don't know. So I think the tip for today is, if you know that you're going quite fast and you look at your window and you've got tide moving and you haven't got bow and stern thrusters to get away with it, turn round and come into more against the tide. That way you'll be having complete steerage and the actual tide will help bring the stern in. It will want to take your bow out initially, but if you've got a crew member to get off of the bow, the rest is done for you basically. And I just looked round and the tide sprung them round anyway. So they've, Mother Nature took them round the right way. So a little update for you, we're running ahead of schedule still, so I've backed off again just to tick over. Not long past Runham moorings. These are temporary emergency moorings for an emergency, for example, or for demasting. They're not just to moor up or for fishing, etc. They're provided by the Broads Authority and there's a pontoon. Now the problem is that I know where that is. In fact, I can see in the distance features of Great Yarmouth and around that area, the church, there's the building near Haven Bridge, and there's that big sort of tank structure. So we're near Great Yarmouth. The problem is it's 1:15. So we're well early for low water, which isn't until 2:30. So whilst the tide has dropped considerably and you can see all the exposed horrible muddy banks, I'm not really happy about trying to go through Yarmouth at this time, because there is a risk that I arrive, something might happen in front of me and I'm being taken by the ebbing current and I may not fit under the bridge, which is the main reason. So as I say, I've just eased off and we'll give it a while and then I'll get back on and we'll update you as and when. But there's not much to say, not much to see around here. I will show you out of the window, but as you can see it's just really, well, reeds. So this is the view ahead of us, as you can see. The clouds are still ever present. I'm just pleased it's not raining. It's not actually that cold outside. It's 13.5 degrees at the moment outside, and I reckon that's because of the cloud cover. But I had hoped that the further towards the coast that we got, maybe, you know, coastal breeze and stuff would have shifted the clouds, or some bit of blue sky wouldn't be too bad. But it's not to be at the moment. Certainly I'm the only boat around. I haven't seen anybody coming towards us. There's been no one behind us. So it's a quite old day on the River Bure towards Yarmouth.